I believe that on this day, I had to combine a couple of sessions because I don't normally do both jumping and squatting in the same workout. But looking at these jumps, I'm noticing something slightly different from the ones that I've been performing up until then. And the fact that the leading leg isn't really going forward and back, but it's actually kind of contributing to the initial propulsion forward. Now, I wasn't doing a terribly great job at that, but I think that I seem to remember that I was trying to experiment with slightly different foot positioning between the couple of sets that I've performed of these approach jumps. In here, I was doing something else. I was kind of hopping forward, and I wasn't really liking the way that it was feeling. And then I decided to revert back to a more normal, usual stagger stance where I'm actually using both feet to go forward. But what I'm seeing also is that I'm making kind of a very long forward stride, but then it takes a lot of time for me to catch up with the foot that is in front of me. And I'm thinking that since my body is actually getting at a good angle where I'm able to project myself forward a bit, I should be probably focusing more on trying to strike slightly back, or at least under my body. Just thought for the future if I watch this back. Then I was at squats, and in here I remember that I was doing 2 sets of 6 with 85 kilos, which means that I am ready to move forward in weight, even though it's going to be something just like 2.5 kilos, and go back to maybe 4 reps and move forward from there. The angle wasn't great, was a bit of a mid-height, but almost to the side. So I wasn't really able to capture the bottom stance very well because the plate was kind of getting in the way. These were 6 reps and they looked okay. They felt good, maybe not as well. I wasn't really feeling that comfortable getting into the hole with my knees forward. I was feeling like there was a bit more leaning back and a bit more reliance on the hips to get the thing done, but nothing that really deviates much from the way that I do squats normally. So I wouldn't be very concerned about that. It's just that sometimes when I feel like I need to get to a certain rep range, it is difficult also to concentrate on the few reps that I have to do, and this is really something that I really shouldn't be doing. It's also tough to avoid. So yeah, no big deal really, unless it really compromised the squat form, which looking at from this angle here, it was looking decent. I'm not really seeing any unsightly heel popping. My torso is sinking into the hips. The back is looking nice and straight. The knees are tracking forward. They were good reps, at least in the second set where I was able to get a good look at that. But I do seem to remember a tiny bit of a tight sensation inside my left hip as I was doing these squats. It didn't really give me pain. It wasn't aggravated by the squat range of motion. But then as I was moving on to these hanging leg raises, actually I was doing a pretty good job. I was going very high, keeping my legs straight, and the slight bottom of the lower back flexion wasn't really giving me any discomfort there. Otherwise I wouldn't have gone as high as those. But I do remember that there was something then during the squats. It didn't give me any pain, but I wasn't really feeling like in the previous sessions where the hip was not really under my radar during these squats at all. Then yeah, this reminds me that I was actually combining a couple of sessions there because I was getting into some overhead presses here. I think that it's because I was in this squat rack, so I thought that I might as well stay there and get some extra work for the shoulder there. It was at the end of the session, so I had already done most of what I was planning to do, but then also some work for the upper body. In here, I am staying with 37.5 kilos, and I'm moving towards getting 2 sets of 8. I did 8 in the first one, and this second one, I believe it was 7. So I'm getting very close to that. So the next time that I'm doing 8 and 8, I will be finally going up to 40 kilos, which is something that I had not done in a very long time since the shoulder injury. So I'm happy about that. It's very slow progress, but I want to stay on the safe side of things when I have control and I don't feel pain. Ciao.